So we're going to take a look at inverse trig functions, which I mentioned really briefly in the law of cosines video, I believe, but I'm going to go over, what we're really looking at here. So if let's just say we've got the sine inverse of x equals y. What that's really saying is that x equals the sine of y. So if this is saying that we know what the sine of the angle is. What's the angle that gives us that sine? You might also see this as arc sine, or arc cosine, or arc tangent. It works always. So in order to solve this, we are going to want to think about our handy-dandy unit circle. So let's think about this. Our sine, if we're looking at an xy coordinate point, sine is y. So we need our sine to be negative. So we're either going to be in the third quadrant or the fourth quadrant. But what we have to consider here is that sine inverse only works from pi over 2 to negative pi over 2. We're only looking at this side of the unit circle. So that means that we've got to be in the fourth quadrant. This is where we're looking for sure. So, I guess I should break that down for a second. Hold on, let's back up. So these are the intervals where our inverse trig functions work. So if I was going to draw this out on the unit circle, just so you can see, our sine can only happen in this region, so it can either be in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant. Our cosine can only happen in this region, so it's either going to be in the first quadrant or the second quadrant. And our tangent is the same as sine. The only difference here is that these are parentheses where these are brackets, because you'll remember that the tangent at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, or negative pi over 2 in this case, is undefined. So it's just saying we can't include those because there's no solid tangent there. But there's a solid sine there, so we can work it out. When I was in pre-cal in high school, my teacher used to refer to the third quadrant as the no-fly zone. Nothing can ever happen there in terms of inverse trig functions. So if you've got a choice between the third quadrant and something else, it's always the something else. So let's get back to the task at hand. Like I was saying, the sine is our y coordinate. So we know that we need our y to be negative, so it can either be here or here. But, like I just explained, we've got our no-fly zone here, not happening. So we're looking for something in the fourth quadrant. Now we just need to know where our sine is negative 1/2. So let's think about our triangles here. On our 45, 45, 90 triangle, we've got square root of 2 over 2 for both things. So we know that this one is out of the game. So it's either going to be at this notch or at this notch. In order to figure this out, I like to draw my special triangles to see what's going on. So if I'm going to draw my triangle here and here, I've got the hypotenuse is 1 here, my short side is 1/2, and my long side is square root of 3 over 2. So that means that my x is square root of 3 over 2, and my y is negative 1/2, which is what we're looking for. So we know that at this point, sine is negative 1/2. But what is this point? This answer, it can either be in radians or degrees. If it doesn't specify, I would probably give the answer in radians. But, so here, this is, in degrees, it's 330, because we are 30 degrees away from 360. But in radians, we are 1 pi sixth away from 2 pi. So it's going to be 11 pi over 6.